The Spokane Arena is one of Washington's mass COVID-19 vaccination sites. A lot of people have questions about how it's going to work, and today we are answering some of those questions.
You know, it would mean the world to me to be able to finish my senior year and actually graduate in person.
Today, parents and students gathered outside the Central Valley School District. They don't think getting students back to in-person learning is happening fast enough. We'll hear from some of those demonstrators today.
The foggy conditions from this morning may be replicated again for tomorrow. That on top of the snow chances I'm tracking.
And the push to break Washington into two different states is back again. We'll explain what's included in this newest Liberty State movement.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for being here tonight. I'm Regina On.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Tom and Whitney are off tonight. The Spokane Arena was just named as one of 4 COVID-19 max vaccination sites in Washington. Governor Inslee says these sites are expected to open next week. Meantime, many people have questions about details that remain unclear. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley has been investigating your questions and our own about what to expect when the arena does open. She joins us live now with what she's found out so far. Amanda?
Good evening, Mark. Sometime next week, the Spokane Arena will open as a mass vaccination site for Washington residents over the age of 65. At this time, we don't know what people should expect once they arrive, let alone an opening date. And that is because plans for these sites are still in the works. Even the Spokane Regional Health District is waiting on direction from the state. In the meantime, here are the questions we are asking state officials so that you are prepared when the site opens here at the arena. In addition to confirming the opening date and time, we've asked the state and Spokane Regional Health District the following questions. Who will be running operations? Will the site be drive-through or walk-up? And what do people need to prove they are eligible for the vaccine? The Washington National Guard confirms it will be assisting at the site, but it cannot yet say how many guardsmen will be at the arena, for how long, or what their duties will be. And we've also asked some of your questions, including can residents outside Spokane County get vaccinated at the Spokane Arena, and if the vaccine is free. Of course, we'll be keep investigating what you need to know about this mass vaccination site, and we also encourage you to text us any other questions to 509-448-2000. Now, some of you also asked what other locations for mass vaccination sites are opening in Washington. Well, according to Governor Inslee's website, they include Kennewick, Wenatchee, Spokane, as well as Ridgefield. Now, there are 3 other counties, King, Snohomish, and Pierce counties. They already had mass vaccination sites established by their local districts, but they too now, as we move forward, will receive additional support from the state. Mark?
And Amanda, quickly, do we know if the Spokane vaccination site will be by appointment only?
That is definitely something that's still being sorted out. We don't know that for the Spokane Arena at this time, but the governor has said some Washington state vaccination sites will be first come, first serve or by appointment. But of course, we'll be keeping you updated on KREM.com with that information once we learn more. Reporting from the Spokane Arena, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Okay, Amanda, thank you. With the announcement that Washington has lowered the age of those eligible for the COVID-19 vaccine in phase 1B to 65, there are many people who are asking the question of how they'll get the shots. Ian Smay of our KREM 2 vaccine team has a couple options for you tonight. Hey there, Ian.
That's right, Regina. Governor Jay Inslee announced yesterday that the age range for those eligible in phase 1B would be lowered from 70 to 65. This means that thousands more Washington residents are eligible. Now, you may be wondering, how can I set up a time to start the vaccination process? Well, there are multiple ways, and here are a few of them. First, reach out to your regular doctor. Your primary care provider may be one of the providers distributing vaccines here in Spokane County. At least one local provider, Multicare, has sent out a notification to patients saying that they can even check their eligibility and schedule a vaccination appointment online. Another option is to check with local pharmacies. One example of that here in Spokane is Safeway. They also have a place where people can sign up online to be notified of when they are eligible so they can then make an appointment. Other chain pharmacies have also said they'll be distributing the vaccine. One more option applies to those who are part of an HMO, or health maintenance organization. An example of a local HMO is Kaiser Permanente. They said once it's confirmed a patient is eligible, they'll be sent to a website where they can make an appointment for the first and second doses of the COVID-19 vaccine. Lastly, you can use the Washington Face Finder tool rolled out by the state's Department of Health. If you are determined to be eligible after you fill out your information, you can then enter contact information. That will then lead to you getting a confirmation message you can show to a vaccine provider. The Department of Health's website also has a list of vaccine providers. Now, there are some other ways you can go about scheduling your COVID-19 vaccine appointment if you are 65 or older. For more on how you can schedule a COVID-19 vaccine appointment if you are in this age range, text vaccine to 509-448-2000. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
Ian, thank you very much. Today, Governor Brad Little in Idaho announced he is asking for more National Guard members to be activated in Idaho. Governor Little wants the number to be increased from 250 to 400 guardsmen to help in the state's pandemic response. The additional Guard members will help with the vaccine distribution. And today, Governor Little also announced Idaho will offer healthcare providers new grants to make it easier to administer the COVID-19 vaccine. The new grants are for enrolled vaccine providers. They will help with increasing staffing to administer the shots, purchase needed equipment and supplies, and improve vaccine access for hard-to-reach and vulnerable populations. The amount each vaccine provider will receive is based on the number of doses that they administer. At least 36 protesters lined up outside Central Valley High School today demanding to change the district's phased-in approach for the school year. KREM 2's Brandon Jones is standing by the district tonight. He spoke with some parents and students who are fed up. And Brandon, what can you tell us?
When it comes to phasing students back into the classroom, there's really been no specific way to accomplish that in a correct manner. School districts across the region have handled it and followed their own timeline in getting students back into the classroom. Some have more inside of the building than others. If you look behind me, you can still see a few posters from that protest earlier today in the Central Valley. They're asking for the district to reevaluate their current protocols. They believe this time outside of the classroom is impacting their children's mental health. And today, a group of parents and students in Central Valley decided to host a March for More rally. Last week, board members announced students in grades 7 through 12 will be coming back to the classroom. The current plan would begin on February 1st with a phased-in hybrid schedule. Students would only have one day in the classroom, and as the school year winds down, there's been some frustrations.
You know, it would mean the world to me to be able to finish my senior year and actually graduate in person, but we'll have to see. I really hope this makes a difference.
Let's get our kids back in school. That's where they're safe. That's where they thrive. That's why it's set up that way.
I spoke with several students and parents today, and they told me it's frustrating to look at other school districts like the Meade School District and see that more students are already phased back into the classrooms. They believe here in Central Valley they can do it in a safe and effective way. One student I spoke with told me she moved all the way from Utah to continue her athletic career in her senior year. She's a senior tennis player, but now she's hoping that she can return back to Central Valley to graduate with her peers and be able to get back inside of the classroom. Live from Spokane Valley, Brandon T. Jones, KREM 2 News.
Brandon, thank you very much. Meantime, Eastern Washington University is planning to return to mostly in-person classes this fall. Today, interim president David May announced the goal. He stressed this is not guaranteed, and right now it is just a goal. The plan for returning to in-person classes will include checkpoints along the way and ongoing assessments of state guidelines and public health measures. The university is working with the Spokane Regional Health District to develop vaccine eligibility criteria and distribution plans for EWU employees and students. In his statement, interim president May said in part, quote, "I pledge to everyone we are not going to be fully back on campus until it is safe to do so. The health and safety of our students, staff, and faculty will continue to be the primary driver for all of the decisions that we have to make," unquote. Remote instruction will continue through winter and spring terms. Most summer courses are also expected to remain online. The university is hosting a COVID-19 town hall on Thursday for a more in-depth discussion on the next steps.
All right, turning the page now to a check on weather. I know at 4 o'clock, Thomas, you showed a picture of the fog early this morning for drivers commuting to work. And by the afternoon, it was pretty sunny and not too bad of a start to the week. So how is it looking for the rest of this week now?
Yeah, this is a pretty stagnant forecast this week. So what we experienced this morning certainly is likely tomorrow morning as well. Now, that fog will never last throughout the day. In fact, the warmth of the daytime hours tends to burn off that fog. It's just dependent on how quick or slowly that happens. It is actually quite cloudy out there right now, sitting at 33 degrees with calm winds, but we're kind of shaping up for another foggy night, at least in some patchy spots. Low temperatures also down easily into the 20s, so the mix of the fog and the cold temperatures would make it a freezing fog. So if you had to scrape the windshields of your car this morning, you might have to do that tomorrow morning as well. Our computer model does indicate a region between Moses Lake and Spokane, right in that I-90 corridor. Does have the best chance for that patchy dense fog, and we'll see how that develops, especially by our later broadcast tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock. As for a snapshot of our future tracker, we're noticing the potential of some snow chances by the time we get to the weekend. So I have the latest details on what that snow chance involves and when else we can get some precipitation even before the weekend starts. It's all coming up in a few minutes.
Sounds good, Thomas. Thank you very much. Power outages across the region led to an animal shelter scrambling for help.
So that's when we realized we cannot be putting our animals at risk like that.
Well, luckily the community came through. Coming up, how the shelter is doing now.